This is RHM for RHM Movie Reviews. For this episode and the next episode, I want to be talking about movies that are based on musicals and plays. First the musicals, then the plays. Now, the first two are actual musicals. Now, they were not based on musicals, the others are. These were just musicals because that's the way the screenwriters and the music and lyrics the composer wanted to do. Now, the first one is Newsies, and this is great cast, great story. It's based on a true story, and the story is about the 1899 newsboy strike that happened in New York City. Now, if you watch, if you go to another channel, like I think it is Miss Mojo, that tells you the difference between what happens in the movie and what happened in real life. You would be very shocked because in real life it didn't end as nice as it does in the movie or in the musical. Because both Newsies and the movie I'm about to talk about were eventually made into musicals. And I have not seen the musical version. I've seen the musical version of Newsies. It's really good. They got a really great cast. And Crybaby is a musical, and the musical that was based on this movie, I haven't seen it yet, but I hope to one day actually see this musical. Now, the rest of the cast, the whole cast is great. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh no, it's not real music. Please, it's a musical. It is a real musical. It has songs that, well, yeah, you may have heard, and it's based in the 50s or the 60s, I'm not sure. I would have to rewatch it and make sure. 1950, so 1954. And this Crybaby was Johnny Depp's first movie musical. I know a lot of people will say, oh no, Sweeney Todd was his first movie musical. No, Crybaby was his first movie musical. Sweeney Todd was the first time he actually got to sing in a movie. Because for Crybaby, he had to lip sync to somebody else's voice because this other person knew, I guess, the term of the kind of music that he was Johnny Depp is lip singing to in the movie is called rockabilly. And I know a lot of people, when you think rockabilly, you really think of somebody like Ricky Nelson, the late Ricky Nelson. That is the kind of music he did. And of course, I mentioned these two because the two stars, Johnny Depp and Christian Bale, were in a biopic based on a famous Illinois. I don't know if he was from Illinois or not, but John Dillinger. The name of the movie is called Public Enemies. It's really good. And of course, the rest of the cast is good in that movie too. It's really great. And now to the movies that are actually based on musicals. First up is Sound of Music. Great cast. This was actually Julie Andrews' second movie, or I'm not sure, because this was actually her second movie musical that she did. First one being Mary Poppins, which, like with Newsies and Crybaby, it wasn't based on musical. It's just the music made it feel like it was a musical. And I think she did a great job. Actually, the writer-director, Robert Wise, if I'm right. Yeah. He didn't really get along with the real Maria von Trapp. And The musical is based on a true story. It's technically a bio musical, but I don't know because I watched the making of the movie somewhere, I forgot where they actually they do reveal in the trivia for this movie on IMDb the real names of the children of the Von Trapp children that Maria did take care of. And the fact that she eventually did, when she married Captain Von Trapp, they ended up having two more kids. A couple more kids. And I thought that was very interesting. Now, the next one, I am saying this with all the joy in my heart that when I was in high school, my senior year, I think it was the fall, I think it was called the Winter Musical. It was Grease, and I love it. This was John Travolta's first movie musical, and it took a while. It took almost 30 years for him, from this to Hairspray, for him to actually get to do another movie musical. Now there is a sequel to it that is Grease. That's Grease 2. Now I know it was the first movie musical for John Travolta's co-star in Hairspray, Michelle Pfeiffer, and same thing with John Travolta and Michelle Pfeiffer. They had not done a movie musical when they got into do the Hairspray. They had not done a movie musical since the Grease movies. Now it had been longer with John Travolta than with Michelle Pfeiffer, but still. And the original musical was written by two famous Illinois. Oh, as far as I'm concerned, they're famous Illinoisans because they're famous because they actually wrote the original musical. And the musical is set in Chicago because that's where this Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey are from. They're from Illinois. And I remember watching Behind the Music on the movie, and they were saying, oh, how Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey really truly butted heads with the director and with the producers of the movie, so much so that they were asked to never come back. They were banned from the set of the movie. But from what I watched, is John Travolta, it was him and Jeff Conway had done the stage version of the musical, and John Travolta was the one who told him, "Oh, don't worry, Jeff and I will try to stay true enough to the original musical as possible." And I like the fact that John Travolta admitted he would do that, and that's probably why. I have to admit, I did meet him last year. It was the World Chicago Comic Con. He was the nicest guy in the world. I sort of did a stupid thing after I left, saying I only own. Yeah, I'm happy I own 9 movies of his. Like, yeah, John Travolta. If you're watching this, I apologize for saying that stupidest of comments. I didn't really mean it. It's just, I am happy I own 9 of the movies you've done in the past, like Grease and Hairspray and Bolt. I also own the Look Who's Talking movies. I'm so hoping that one day I'll be able to meet you again and probably say something smarter this time and saying why I like Bolt so much. And I've had that. Oh, you know what? I'll talk about Bolt when I get to it. When I talk about movies about dogs or animals. Alright, next one is Chicago. Now, this is a great cast. I'm trying to make sure I'm right. It's the fact that it's set in the 1920s. and Oscar wins. It was directorial debut of Farr Marshall. And the two producers of this movie were the ones who tried to reintroduce the idea of a movie musical. Because it had been years since anybody would really want to go see a movie musical. And they started off with the made-for-TV stuff, like Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, then Annie, then Chicago came. And if you want to know the story, I guess there's a true story behind it. But if you live in Illinois, if you live in the Chicago area and you just happen to be watching WTTW or our local PBS, if they just happen to have a Jeffrey Bear tour going on and they're going to be promoting the Jeffrey Bear box set, I do suggest you buy it. Whichever way you buy it, please buy it because it is so interesting. Because they do actually mention the movie in the one tour called Biking the Boulevards, because Cook County Courthouse and one of the Cook County courthouses and the Cook County Jail are right across from the street from each other, and it's one of those most, I'm not sure, it's probably a famous intersection called 26 in California. I find that very interesting that Jeffrey Bear actually mentioned the movie in his tour called Biking the Boulevards. As I said, the producers of Chicago are one of the reasons the movie musical has come back with a vengeance. Next one is The Music Man. This has an amazing cast, and Matthew Broderick is the star of this movie. And the sister, Rob Marshall's sister, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. Kathleen Marshall choreographed this movie. Now, it is a remake because the original star was big screen. This was made for TV. Excuse me. And they did an amazing job with this version. As I said, the original version has Shirley Jones in the movie. This version is just as good. Next one. Anne Hathaway won Oscar, the same Oscar that Catherine Zeta-Jones won for Chicago, which was Best Supporting Actress. Les Miserables. It is a great movie. It has won a number of awards like Chicago had before it. And it is a great movie. It's a great cast. Anne Hathaway, if you're watching this, I believe you have a beautiful singing voice. It was wasted in Ella Enchanted, but it was so better put to use in an actual musical. And I thought it was interesting for the trivia that says that your mom was a part of a stage cast for the movie while you were growing up. And yes, surprise, surprise. Like most of you, if you've seen the movie, you know I was utterly surprised. I knew Hugh Jackman could sing, because if you watch a movie called Someone Like You with commentary, I watched it with commentary, not because that's the singing. This was technically his second movie musical, because he had done a version of Oklahoma in his native Australia, which, Lord, to find out that film actually got him the role in Someone Like You. So I'm not surprised he can sing. But with Russell Crowe, I admit I was in stark shock. He could sing. I never knew he could sing. All right, next one is now I've never seen the musical. Same thing with Les Mis, where most of these movies that are based on musicals, I've never seen the actual musical. Well, actually, except for Cats, I've never seen any of the musicals for these movies. Except, I really want to see Mamma Mia. There is a sequel to this, and it's great. This movie has a great cast. The musical itself is based on ABBA music, and you will hear a lot of ABBA music. If you are an ABBA fan, I do suggest you watch the movie because it is just as great. And it's interesting to hear actors who you didn't know could sing actually sing in the movie. Like, I know a local movie entertainment. I'm not sure what to call him. But he's a movie. He's definitely a movie, and he's definitely a critic. And I remember when the movie came out, he was a really big fan of the movie. Now he'll say, "Oh, because it did so well at the box office," he'll say he's a big fan of the movie. I ain't buying it. I know it's sarcasm saying he was a big fan. No, he wasn't. Not really. He wasn't really a truly big fan of the movie. I don't know if he was a big fan of the musical or not, but... Alright, next one is Into the Woods. This is a movie based on the same guy who wrote the musical Sweeney Todd. So it's just as ill as Sweeney Todd is. And believe me, I haven't really seen Sweeney Todd, but what I have seen, well, from what I've seen with this is, ugh. The guy who wrote the music for Into the Woods and Sweeney Todd, I gotta say, the guy's got a very dark mind. His name is Steven Sondheim. Yes, I believe he has a very dark mind to write musicals like that. And actually, Into the Woods takes a couple of fairy tales and mixes them together. Like Rapunzel and Cinderella, their Prince Charmings were brothers. Didn't know that. He did. Stephen Sondheim, great job at doing that. And Meryl Streep turned out to be the villain in the movie. And I know she won an MTV Movie Award for it. And Meryl Streep, if you're watching this, great job at playing the old wicked lady. And I hope you win another MTV Movie Award in the future. If not, get the MTV Movie and TV Generation Award, because I believe you'll deserve it. Now, this last movie musical is based on Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. It is great. I have actually seen the musical performed in Illinois. Yes, it's a sad but true. I've never been to New York. Hopefully someday I will. Cats. I do believe it is a great movie. It has a great cast. I mean, Idris Elba as the villain in the movie is great. And Jennifer Hudson, this movie, it just proves there is a reason. It is one of the reasons she was handpicked by Aretha Franklin to play her in the biopic of Aretha Franklin that is supposed to be coming out early next year. Now, I know I can't wait to see that movie, so hopefully I can review it, and talk to you guys about it. Next episode, I will be talking about the plays. The first 3 are based on Shakespeare plays. The other 2 are based on plays by other playwrights. So this is RHM for RHM Review signing off.